Hey, what's up, everyone? How's everyone doing tonight? Uh, hello, hello, hello. Don't mind me, just as always, making sure that everything is in working order over here. Every time I click a new button in OBS, I'm always like, oh, okay, I gotta make sure that nothing else like broke when I wasn't looking, you know? Yeah. It's weird to think I've been using this for about 2 months now to bring you all these live streams. I feel generally more comfortable with using it now than I used to, that's for sure. But you never know, especially when my computer updates itself, which it just did a couple of times over the last, between now and the last time we all saw each other, so there we go. There we go. But after making some final checks, it looks like everything is looking alright. I hope you are doing alright today. I hope everything's been well with you. Hey Erica, how's it going? Let's go! I appreciate the hype, sis. How are you doing today? How late are you? That just started. You're not late at all, Erica. Hey Janine, what's good? Alright, happy to see y'all here. I have a story for y'all, if you're willing to lend an ear real quick. And then I want to hear about how y'all's days have been going. Today has been a trial. It's just been one of those days where it's just been like an absolute trial, you know? I've started working from home. I'm glad you're ready for the vibes, Erica. So I've started working from home now on Thursdays. My job is letting me, you know, go remote on Thursdays from now on, which is great because that means that I'll hopefully be able to, you know, have an easier time prepping for stream at night now, so I don't have to like rush home from work to try and get everything all set up, you know. I would leave everything set up, but you know, I got limited space here in my tiny bedroom here, so I gotta usually break everything down after streams, you know. But yeah, we're excited for the virtual Thursdays though, and I was just, you know, vibing, chilling, working from home today this morning. Had a meeting early, went well, went fine, went great. And then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, then I'm gonna jump into a couple more hours of work, you know. So I go to use the bathroom, and then I flush the toilet, and then faster than I've ever seen any toilet ever do, it just overflows immediately like that. There's water everywhere, and my bathroom here in this apartment is very, very tiny. I had to act very quickly. Like, I like flew across the room to grab like the roll of paper towels that was out, and I started like, you know, trying to put it all down, try to soak up the water as best as I could, you know. And I was able to keep it from leaking out of the bathroom at least. But yeah, that was terrifying. For context, for larger context here for this story, there's been like an issue in my building lately with regard to like the pipes. The restaurant below me has been like letting my super know that apparently like they have water leaking down from their ceiling, which is my floor. And so like my super and like a contractor have been like in and out over like the last like 3 or 4 days, like inspecting my apartment, trying to figure out where this leak is. But you know, there are no leaks in any of my pipes. There's nothing visibly wrong. There's no water leaking. I don't have any water pressure loss or anything like that. And the second of the contractors who came in today, or the first of them that came in today, like did the measurements, and like according to like where the spot is, I know, right, massive L. Erica, yeah, no, I was like, that's what I said too. I was like, no, you gotta be kidding me, when it all went down this morning. So the second contractor like did the measurements, like used his tape measure to figure out like where the exact spot was, you know, below me, as below, like the same spot was below me as it is like in my space, you know, try to figure out where the leak would be, and it was like in the middle of my kitchen floor, which made no sense to anybody because like there's no faucet there, there's no sink there are no pipes there. Why would the leak be coming from this spot in my apartment? So it's one big old mystery, and it looks like they're gonna be in and out of this place trying to figure it out for like the next like a few more days. They're coming back this weekend to like inspect stuff and whatnot. So that's great. Something I have to do with now. I got to sit around here and like wait for them on Saturday morning, which is fun because I had plans. But you know, hopefully they'll get everything resolved. I'm just glad that everything's okay. And like, look, on the bright side, this apartment. Let me tell you something. This apartment has never been cleaner. It has literally never been cleaner. I took a mop, took some like diluted bleach solution, and just like. Well, eventually, because especially because I've been like walking around trying to clean everything up, I had to I mopped down every single floor in this apartment. Everything is spick and span now, here, that's for sure. It is like pristine here. Thank you for your sympathies, Erica. I appreciate that. So happy I had the motivation to deep clean the apartment today. Sad that it came at the cost of my sanity, and also it took me like 4 hours to I lost from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That was supposed to be like my lunchtime, my chill and do like other things. I was gonna do some editing. I was gonna edit some more shorts. Got some more shorts coming down the pipeline over the next couple of weeks that are already scheduled to post, but I was gonna make some more today, and that just didn't happen. So yeah, there is that. Other than that, today's been fine. This week has been a lot with like work and stuff, and just lots of things happening, as there always are. I'll tell you a good thing though. The Steam Spring Sale I think just ended today, and while it was going on, I downloaded the game Tetris Effect because it was on sale for about $20. And I've played Tetris in the past. My mother is obsessed with Tetris. She loves Tetris. She's the reason why I ever played my first ever like game of Tetris, really. And Tetris Effect was something I'd always been curious about. I always heard that was like a pretty cool like experience. I did not know how cool that game was going to be until I finally turned it on for the first time. It's just like you're not just playing Tetris, you're like in Tetris when you play that game. Like the best way to play that game, I tell my friends, I tell y'all like, just put your headphones on, turn the lights off, and just relax and enjoy. Well, I say relax. It's Tetris, it can get pretty stressful at a certain point, right? But there's that. That was a highlight of my week, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very happy that game has made its way into my life now. So yeah. So now that a couple of y'all are here, I will a few of y'all are here. I'm gonna go ahead and just explain what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep on working on our sisters tonight, y'all. We are, a little over the halfway point at this point. It's gonna be just a lot of layering and like fleshing out the the under part of all their like cloth garments, really. One thing I will say too, and I'll reiterate this update at the end of the stream too, just so that it's clear for everybody, but one thing I've decided to do, just because I miss hobbying in my own time as well, I've kind of, ever since I started streaming, kind of consolidated and isolated my hobbying time to just the nights where I stream. And, I'm the type of person where, I paint not only to paint, but I also paint in order to play the game, right, of Warhammer 40k. And I am ready for these sisters to be done. And I want to also get to like some of the more like detail oriented parts of the painting process to show all of you. So I think between this stream and next week's stream, I'm going to do a little bit more work offline to sort of like get us to a different place, a different step in the painting process. And we'll also see how tonight goes and like where we end up with that too. That way we can start wrapping this project up, because we've been on this project for like a few streams now, and I want to move on to other things. And of course it's not unusual for people to be like on their the same project for like multiple streams, but I'm just so excited to show you all the rest of what I got in my collection. Hey Nikki G, what's good? But yeah, so I'm gonna like do some offline work on this particular project between this week and next week, and then I'll give a little status update either through my Instagram or my Twitter, or maybe both, which you can find the links for down in the description below if you don't follow me on either of those channels already. And then then we'll pick up where I leave off from my offline work next week. So that's generally the plan going forward, at least with this project. And then in the future, especially when we're working on more like single model projects, like I have like a tank that I want to paint at some point, those, since it's only one model, we will just like, I will show like the entire process of that on stream, barring like any sort of extenuating circumstance with that. But yeah, just wanted to give that little, I guess, channel update, you can call it. So with all that being said, let's just get into it. Let's just get right back to our painting. And while I'm doing that, tell me about how your day was, y'all. How's life? Also just gonna readjust my microphone here too. If I turn my mic gain up like this, can you all still hear me alright? Do I still sound fine, or do I sound like too crunchy or anything like that? Let me know. Please. Sound sick? Perfect. Or I don't know if you're referring to like my overarching plan for this project or the microphone, Erica, but either way, cool. Alright. So between this time and last time, I've decided that I'm going to change up the sort of painting formula for this layering project. Live is really hard. Oh, life is good. I see. Okay, Mike is good. Perfect. Life is good. It rained really hard just now. The cozy vibes. Ah, I love that. I love me a good cozy rainy day moment. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, it rained here today too. LOL, it's low-key been the week from hell, but we out here. Oh my goodness, Janine, I'm so sorry. I hope everything turns out to be alright. I mean, I know we've talked a little bit like offline about stuff, but yeah, shoot, that's rough, Mo. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's something about... I feel like there's something in the air. Oh wait, I'm so sorry, y'all. I forgot. Gotta shake the bottles on screen, on camera, in frame. My apologies. There, I hope you're all... I hope that was enough proof of, I don't even know what. Decency, I guess. The hazards of live streaming your miniature painting. Alright. So we're gonna take a little bit of this. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of... So the change in the recipe that I'm making now is instead of using white, or instead of using ivory, we're gonna use just a basic white now for our layering and stuff. Still grunts. Yep, Nikki, we are still on the grunts for now. But that's why I was saying that I'll like push on, I think, with like doing some offline work on these, and that way we can move on more expeditiously to some other cooler projects, and like single model projects, you know what I mean? So there's that. Just gonna blend this together real quick. Still, we get that good texture going. All right, and I'm just gonna very quickly wipe that. All right. Cool. Oh, still grunts. Oh, I got you, Nick. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. You got me there. You got me there, man. You got me. Very true. Hey, Ultra Lord, what's good, bro? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. There we go. I'm just gonna scooch the camera, scooch myself over so I'm more in frame there. Ultra Lord, my guy, how are you doing today, man? Good, I hope. Hope everything's going all right with you. Got a little bit of paint on there. A little bit of paint where there shouldn't be any paint. That's okay. Busy, but things are good. That's good. That's good. Hope everything's going well with school, especially because I know that's been like kind of a pain point for you recently. Mr. about to get his PhD soon. Let's go. Soon, and kind of in quotation marks there, because I mean these PhD programs are no joke, of course. But you understand what I mean. Rooting for you, dog. Okay. And since I spotted it, I'm gonna refocus the camera there. Since I spotted a couple of mistakes on this this pistol holster right here, I'm gonna go ahead and cover those up while we're in this color. This will be a good color for covering those little tiny mistakes up. School's going pretty well. Good. Excellent to hear, my guy. Excellent. Got a little mistake on her hair here too. Gonna The classes are in a lull before exams, and the thesis project is making steady progress despite some roadblocks. Good. Good. Well, I hope you enjoy your lull before exams while you can, man. Ooh. Oh, also, Ultralord and Nikki especially all have, I'm sure we'll have something to say about all this. Adepticon reveals. Got some of those in the last like 24 hours or so. For those of you who don't know, Adepticon is one of the larger Warhammer focused conventions going on that go on like stateside. I did end up figuring out where I'm going to do my PhD too. Hey, that's dope, man. Congrats. So where are you going to end up going? We'll chat about that offline. Oh, but yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, let me know. I'm ready. I want to hear all about that for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I was saying that Adepticon is happening right now. So for all of us Warhammer fans, it's an exciting time because got some reveals coming out. We finally have official confirmation that the next edition of the game, the 10th edition of the game, is coming down the pipeline. People saw that sort of coming. People were kind of predicting that we'd see some 10th edition reveals. Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited personally too for 10th edition. Lots of big rules changes coming up and everything. I'm really excited especially too about the way they're going to be handling data sheets from now on, I think. The way they've just been reformatted to be like way easier to read, I think is going to be like huge for me personally as a player, especially as a newer player too. Just like the game getting more simplified, I think is gonna be like really healthy for the game overall. And it seems like initial reactions to it are generally just like have just been very like positive, which is a good thing to see, you know. That's just a really good thing to see in general, I think. Okay. I'm gonna really quickly grab I almost forgot to grab it. Gotta grab my glaze medium here because we're gonna be doing some glazing. I think the way they're breaking out the stat bar is logical and simplifies things. Yes, I fully agree. I also really like too that they're gonna be like cutting down on codex stratagems. I think that's gonna be really good and really healthy for the game. Also, them doing indices again essentially is a good move. Yeah. I don't know a lot about like what indices were in like previous editions of the game, so like I'm not like really familiar with like how they worked compared to codexes. If you wouldn't mind explaining, I'd love to know. But yeah, I'm excited that people are excited about it though. Like I'm happy that it seems like that's going to be like a really like healthy change for like the rule sets and everything. And then Nikki, I know you don't really like play the game, so I'm curious to know if like any of the new models especially like sort of caught your eye out of all the ones that have been revealed so far. I know the new model for Lionel Johnson looks so freaking sick. That model looks absolutely gorgeous, and even though I am not a Dark Angels player, like I might just have to get it at some point so I can paint it. Maybe I'll even like paint it on stream. I don't know, but that model looks absolutely sick. So I'm very excited for that. You were already planning on painting the lion. Nice. Were you gonna get the horusheresy like Forge World model originally before or did you like anticipate lion being announced? Bought a bunch of new greens to mess with last week. Nice, nice. Like what greens? This brush is fraying on me. That's okay though. You'll keep it together. Ah, the new one. I knew it was coming. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay. See, we're gonna get the new model all along. Nice. Very nice. Trying to be more in frame here. More in focus, too, while we're at it. The new one. Let's see. They released an index for the 4 large chunks factions of the game. They had all of the rules for all the armies and models in them right at the end of the release of the. Oh, I see. Okay, so that'll be good because then we'll get like a bunch of army rules at the same time, so they'll be like better balanced against each other than at the very least. So like one of indexes was all the Xenos factions. Gotcha. Nikki says, bunch of Vallejo game color air. I have no idea what to do yet, so I shotgun the greens and hope something will work. Bet. I like that. I like that. I know exactly how you feel. That's how I am with my, that's how I was with like blues and pinks for a while too, back when I was, messing around with like color schemes for these gals. I know exactly what you're talking about when you kind of like just like get a bunch of colors and you just gotta like see what works, you know? I respect that. I like your style. I like your style. Oh boy. Let's see here. Oh, I like the game colors. I haven't messed with the air ones though. I have some air, like I have a couple of metallic air colors. I like them. I like them. I like the consistency that they're thin to. I think it makes it really easy to like paint with in general. Yeah, I like them. I'm a fan of the air color range. I have not, ironically enough, I have not used any of them through an airbrush yet. Yeah, the indices were really good for global balance. Yeah, so that'll be nice. That'll be very nice. Vallejo Air is a great blend. Yeah, bland. Yeah, not bland. Brand. Yeah, I agree. I'm a big fan of Vallejo in general, so that does not or that's good to hear. That's good to hear, you know. That like the air colors are great performers, you know. I mean, great to see too in my own observations. Let's see. I think what we'll do now, since we're still kind of waiting on a bunch of these to dry, is we will. Well, like I want the paint to dry a little bit before I start glazing, so I think we'll just move on to like the next layers here on the other models, and then we'll just blend. We'll layer, then blend, then layer, then blend, and we'll go like that for each model until we are done. Okay. Next one. Here we go. Let's see. Also, this is random too, but those like new Seraphon models with like the Seraphons riding like the dinosaurs, those look really cool. Like I don't play Age of Sigmar at all, but like low key, those guys might get me into Sigmar. Like, it's literally lizards riding other lizards. Like, it doesn't get... Anyway, yeah, it doesn't get any cooler than that. Anyway. Let's see here. Yeah, and just like last time, you know, this paint is behaving very well. I really like using French Mirage Blue in general. Like, this is like one of my utility colors that I end up using in some form or fashion. Age of Sigmar has great models. I never painted them though. Yeah, I've seen some like really truly like awesome models come from like from the Age of Sigmar line. Let me look into, yeah, look them up real quick. They actually look pretty dope. Yeah, with Age of Sigmar, you know, like, I think, I was looking at the, you know, the Seraphon models because I saw the post today, but then I also saw, like, I think they're called the Lumineth Realm Lords, too. I really like their look. If I were to, like, get into Age of Sigmar, too, I would probably end up playing one or maybe even both of, like, those factions. Age of Sigmar, for those of y'all who don't know, is the other Warhammer game, one of the other Warhammer games that like Games Workshop produces. It's Sigmar. It's more like high fantasy based as opposed to like heavy metal sci-fi like Warhammer 40k. Sigmar, Erica. Sigmar, more like Sigmar. Cigar my nuts. Got him. YouTube, please don't ban me. Anyway. And this is why this stream is not marked as being appropriate for children. The end. Those look tight. Yeah, right? I'm like, dang. Alright, lizard boys. I see you. We mistake right here on this storm bolter, so we're just gonna pick that off real quick while we are looking at it, so I don't forget to do that later. There we go. And like I said last time, because, you know, the French Mirage Blue is part of our Zenithal highlighting, it makes it so that, like, when we use it to cover up mistakes, or at least in my observation right now, it seems like it makes like covering up mistakes like much easier and smoother because like that color is already underneath everything. So it doesn't look too unnatural. Like, you stare at it hard enough, you know, you'll notice like, oh, you covered up a mistake here, Christian. But like, we're also going to be putting like more paint on top of that at some point too, so you know. Besides, I'm a big proponent of the 3-foot rule, which is, you know, if it looks good from 3 feet away, looks good anyway. Erica says, YouTube busting down your doors, man. Why would you ever say that? Oh, is that why I hear sirens outside my door right now? Dang. Well, it's been a good run. Alright, guys. Stream's over. No, stop. Connor says, the old models were good, but the refresh makes them really intimidating, probably more like real lizards. Also, the cold ones looking more like velociraptors is a great change. Oh, so that's what those are called. Cold ones. Cracking open a cold one with the boys. Come on, Christian, what is this, 2015, man? Chill out, bro. Chill out. Was that 2015? Was that meme 2015? I don't really remember. I don't remember much from 2015, if I'm being honest. Yeah, see. We can actually see like where we can see like precisely where we're supposed to paint like the lighter color on this model by like holding it up to the light with the angle that it's at. Like, that actually makes it really easy to identify the area. We literally just want to paint it right here and leave the rest of this behind it in shadow. Or not in shadow, but we just don't want to bring that up in terms of lighting either. Because it's technically like, you know, tucked but not behind her and underneath her, so it's like supposed to be darker anyway. So we just paint this like little tip part right here. Like this like little corner right here. And we'll be all set. Going a little gentler on the paint application here. Right here too, we want to do the same. I'm trying to think what else. What else from Adepticon that I think was pretty cool looking? I'm glad that, and when they like, you know, they're keeping in mind like alternative playing modes, like boarding patrols and combat patrol in mind, and Crusade too. Once they like update the 10th edition rules, just cause like, you know, it's nice that they're like bringing those other game modes into like the 10th edition rule set. I didn't realize that would even be like a problem really until like the other night, like a few weeks ago when I went to like my my Monday night session with my gaming group. I was trying to play the 4-player battle royale mode Carnage that was released I think it was released sometime during 8th edition, and trying to use like the most recent rule set of it proved to be not impossible, but a lot more challenging than I think I could have predicted it as a relatively new player. Like we had to like, you know, kind of bend and tweak the rules to ensure that like everything was kind of fair, because that like I said, that game was made during 8th edition, and we're now into like, you know, late stage 9th edition, so the rules have definitely changed a lot since, you know, since then. So it makes me happy to see that Games Workshop is taking a very proactive approach to ensuring that like these other game modes that are, you know, some people's favorite game modes, getting the like love and attention and like 10th edition support that way. Like, you know, people don't have to go back to like their 9th edition books just to play one game mode. I'm glad that they thought of that. Very glad that they thought of that. My personal wish for like new models going forward is for there to be some new I want sisters models on bikes. I want some sort of sisters cavalry unit so freaking badly. And I think if you ask like most sisters players, they'll echo the same sentiment. Like, we want sisters on bikes so badly. And so we'll see if we get any in 10th edition. I know some like other wish list items for sisters models are like a generic canoness inside of a Paragon war suit, kind of like how other Imperium armies have like, you know, like a leadership unit, but like modified because like they're in like Terminator armor or something, like a captain in Terminator armor, or like a librarian in Phobos armor or something like that. I wish sisters had more like generic HQ options, but just like with different like sort of armor sets. Same with like a canoness and like a jump pack too would be kind of sick. I think sisters on a horse. Oh yeah, and sister, like, even if it, yeah, like for real, like even if it's not like a bike, like a sisters on a horse, that'd be sick. Especially if it's like something like the Attilan Rough Rider horses that the Imperial Guard have. Like, that'd be kind of dope. That would be so dope, in my opinion. I would be very ecstatic for that. God. A man can dream. Also, Ultralord, since you're a Thousand Suns player, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are about the psychic phase being removed and like all psychic actions being moved to the command phase of the game too. They're literally tossing out like 2 whole phases of the game as it exists in 9th, and they're like replacing it with other stuff. They're getting rid of psychic and they're getting rid of the morale phase, which is like the phase of the turn where like your units that have taken casualties might take more casualties if they like panic and run based on a dice roll check. I'm glad they're changing how that's working. Warhammer is best when it's dumb. We need way more horses with guns. I agree. Warhammer is at its absolute best when it's its most dumbest, its most campiest. Like, absolutely. Put some rocket launchers on those guys. Frickin' nay. Anyway. Yes. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see like what a Sisters Contemptor Dreadnought would look like. like, we already have a tank with a literal pipe organ strapped to the back of it, and that pipe organ shoots missiles. We also have a tank with like flamethrowers with like a stained glass window blast shield too. Like, come on. We can go big. We can go bold over here, you know. All this that we have so far. Come on now. Let's keep it moving, you know. We gotta keep it going. Keep the camp alive. Trying to think. The new Tyranid Termagant model looks pretty cool too. I like how it's a bit more like detailed. I wonder if like more I'm excited to see like if there are more Tyranid refreshes coming down the pipeline. Even though I'm not a Tyranids player, I do think those models are super cool. And I know my girlfriend does too, because she plays and paints Tyranids too. So I'm excited for her. Excited for her sake that her bugs are getting a seeming range refresh. New nudes look cool. New termies are dope. Yep. Yeah, I really like how they fleshed out the details on those guys. One year I will make the pilgrimage to Adepticon, I think. I will try. I've never been to Illinois before, so I'd be curious to check out the scene there. I think like one year, sort of like a bucket list item of mine, I guess you can say, is to take like a country road trip. Like across the states to like a different game store in every state, and like pick up something from each store. I mean, actually that would make that trip way too expensive. Let's be real. Driving across the country is already expensive enough. Around the country is already expensive enough. I would love if they did to Thousand Suns what they did to War. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Like how they like refresh the like the corn berserkers, for example. Yeah, that would look pretty sick. I'd be curious to see what like a range refresh of like the what are they called? The Scarab Occult Terminators, especially. I'd be curious to see what a range refresh for them would look like. Oh, Erica, if you're still here, since you're here, I gotta say, last night's your stream last night was very entertaining. Or was it last night or 2 nights ago when you were doing like all your pools and stuff, and you were like hitting it big at the Genshin Casino? Hey, Isabel, welcome in, welcome in. You have not missed very much at all. We are just continuing with our layering process here, because onions have layers, of course. And we were also talking about Adepticon reveals. Actually, we were just talking about your boys, the Tyranids, because at Adepticon this week, they just had some new models announced. The Termagant model, the sort of basic troop boy with the guns, instead of like the claws. They are getting a new model. They are getting a brand new model. So I thought you'd be interested. No, I know I haven't talked to you about Adepticon yet. Been meaning to bring that up to you, but yeah. Be forewarned, there might come a year where I end up dragging you to Adepticon. I'm so sorry in advance. But yep, the bugs are getting a refresh. A refresh, and looks like them versus like Space Marines. It looks like that'll be like the main focus, sort of at least of early 10th edition. Kind of like how the Necrons were kind of marketed as like the main antagonists of 9th edition early on. But yeah, Eric, I was saying before, yeah, that Genshin stream the other night was so hype. Like when you pulled that one character you wanted, what was his name? Oh, what was her name? Like Shinha or something like that. I got so excited for you. I was like, dang, that's pretty dope. I'm nowhere near far enough into Genshin Impact to even begin to concern myself with any of that stuff yet. But I will say, I think I said this last time, so forgive me for sort of like repeating myself, but yeah, that little game of yours, it punches well above its weight, I must say. I was pleasantly surprised to notice when I noticed how much fun I was having with it the first couple of nights I played it. So I'm definitely looking forward to investing more time in it. Yeah, of course, happy to go and support you, fam. Isabel says, LOL, I was just showing my mom the sabe 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 sabe. Sounds like Spanish to me. Now it's stuck in my head. That SNL skit with Pedro Pascal is so funny. That man's accent work is remarkable. Like that is like that's a level of accent work that I aspire to, especially if I want to be a voice actor, you know. Yeah, it looked like it was the craziest luck on the planet. 'Cause, like, I mean, I only vaguely remember the sort of Genshin math lesson you gave me the other day when I asked you, like, okay, so like how do like the odds work with like pools and stuff, but it looked like, based on like what I could like remember from your voice message, yeah, it looked like you were really like beating the casino there, so to speak. So like, good for you. Says, I'm so glad. Careful though, the brain rot is dangerous. Understood. Oh, you know, another game that I've been getting into recently, or sort of getting back into recently, is this game called The Witness. It's a puzzle game. I've almost beaten it for the very first time ever, finally, after like having owned that game for like 4 years. I like started playing it a couple years ago, put it down for a while, and then never kind of got back into it, but I've been getting back into it lately because I've been needing like, I've had like this massive like puzzle game itch to scratch, which is the other reason why I downloaded Tetris Effect too. And I forgot how much I both love and hate that game so much. I'm in the last area of the game right now and it's been like infuriating. Oh, you played The Witness too, Nikki? Nice, nice. What'd you think of it? I love it. Took a break and forgot how to solve the puzzles. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, and see, that's the reason why I haven't beaten that game yet, because like when you put it down for too long, you forget all the way all the puzzles work, and then I just ended up restarting it. So like I've restarted the game literally 4 times, and this 4th time is like the furthest I've ever gotten, and I do intend on beating it ASAP so that I don't have to restart it a 5th time. For those of you who don't know The Witness, first of all, I envy you, because if there's one thing I wish I could do all over again, it's play The Witness for the first time. Basically, you're dropped kind of like on this mysterious island. You don't know who you are, really what you're doing there. It's very reminiscent of the classic PC game Myst. If any of you are familiar with your PC game history, very point-and-click adventure-y with like puzzle elements and stuff. You have like these different puzzles and these different sections of the island that are themed differently. And basically, the game has no tutorials, but like each puzzle set in each section of the island has like a certain rule to it, or a certain set of rules to it. And then you kind of have to like learn what the rules of each puzzle are through just like sheer trial and error. And then like the puzzles, they like iterate on themselves as you progress through the island, and then eventually like different puzzle sets from different different sets of puzzle rules from different areas of the island will start combining with each other to form like new puzzles, and you're kind of just like, oh my god. And so it really relies like a lot on like your prior knowledge. If you're the type of person who takes notes, you're gonna want to take notes when you play The Witness, right? And that's the reason why, you know, if you put the game down for too long and then try to come back to it, you might forget everything. You might end up just wanting to restart anyway, so that way you could like relearn all the rules of the game pretty much. But it is a fantastic game. It's been out for a really very long time now at this point, so like you can probably get like a decent discount on it to those of you who are interested in playing it. And like it's not a very like graphically demanding game at all. It is one of those games where like the entire map is loaded at once, so like that can cause the game to sort of chug a little bit. But otherwise, you know, I played it like on my original Xbox One, which is like ancient. It's basically a potato at this point, you know. And had an okay time. You don't need a super powerful PC to play The Witness. So yeah, I recommend it. Definitely recommend that game. And in fact, you know, speaking of puzzle games, there are a bunch of games that I eventually want to play on stream with you all, just because I definitely like, you know, even though like my main focus on this channel is going to be like miniature painting for sure, just because it's kind of like my biggest hobby for me right now. I'd also like love to play video games on stream with y'all too at some point. I've got some ideas of games already like lined up. Kind of what I'm waiting on are a couple of things. One, I'm waiting to get like a couple of like painting projects under my belt with you all first, and then I'm also waiting on getting a second monitor. I don't currently have a second monitor for my PC setup, which is like, you know, I can get away with that when streaming like my miniature painting, because like, you know, what I like, the main action of what I'm doing, like the main focus of like my activities, like not on a computer monitor. But like if I'm gonna want to play games in the future, I'm gonna have to get a second monitor. So that is definitely something that's coming down the pipeline for sure, just not like anytime soon, I would say. But you know, stay tuned, because you never know. You never know. But that was kind of also like incidentally sort of like the inspiration behind naming this channel Chimera Games, because again, chimeras are, you know, creatures made up of like a bunch of different things, all melded together into one, and like, you know, I have multiple interests and I want to share about and like talk about all those interests with you all, and I hope you are down for that, because I'd love to have you all along for that ride, you know. Watch me calmly but nevertheless very angrily get frustrated at, like, you know, at some puzzle games or something like that. And that's kind of the thing too, like I would play, like my focus would be, in case you were curious, kind of like on more like single player games, maybe not so much like the multiplayer stuff, you know what I'm saying, that you're kind of used to seeing like on streaming websites. It means more stuff like, you know, like The Witness or like Return of the Obra Dinn, which is another favorite puzzle game of mine. I'm waiting to play that game with you all until I forget all of the game. I'm like very close. I'm like, I think back on my time playing that game, like shoot, I like just now starting to feel like, yeah, I could not breeze through that game. I do not remember all those solutions to those puzzles. So yeah, there's like that. There are a couple of new puzzle games too that I haven't cracked open yet, like the game Antechamber. I want to play that on stream with y'all. Also, don't mind me, I'm just taking a quick hydration break. It is finally warm again here, or it's getting warmer here, but the heat has nevertheless been turned, still been like left on by my super. So like, yeah, it's kind of toasty in here. So as it always is, but especially when it's warm, it is important to stay hydrated. Okay. So I think we still got some glazing left to do on a bunch of these models now that we've like laid down the base coat for the second layer on all of them. So let's go ahead and get to that. Get that medium mixed in there, that glaze medium mixed in there. Yeah, got that glaze consistency right there. Very, very, very thinned down. When using glaze medium with your paints, just remember that if you want to like blend over a particular like section of your painting, that you want to go from like wherever you like paint with your brush, wherever your brush lands, that's where like the the sort of like bulk of the paint is going to end up being deposited. So like right now I'm brushing back toward the layer I just painted to smooth out that edge. That way like the same identical color lands on like its side of the line pretty much is what I'm getting at here. So we're just gonna do a bunch of that real quick. Oh, wrong pile of paint. That's not the glazed pile. We need the glazed pile of paint, not the non-glazed pile of paint. This is also moving a lot faster than I anticipated too, I gotta say. Who knows, we might get to more steps tonight. We'll see. I would like to, but we shall see. Can't promise anything, but I'm gonna give it a good honest try here. Looking so good. Ah, thanks, babe. I appreciate that. Whew. What a day it has been. What a day it has been. My uterus is trying to murder me. Oh dear. Well, have you considered murdering it back? No, I'm so sorry though, babe. I hope the pain subsides soon. Because I know that's brutal. For sure. Kill it before it gets you. Exactly. You gotta fight it first, you know what I'm saying? Fight fire with fire. Maybe don't take fire to your uterus. But you know, keep that plan in your back pocket, you know, in case shit goes awry. I guess. My thoughts exactly, Nikki. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna start cleaning that up a little bit too since I noticed it. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, we got a big old mistake on the bolt gun right here. Calling it a mistake is kind of inaccurate. It was kind of just incidental because we were just trying to get our base codes down. I mean, ideally, paint would have never ended up. Other paint would have never ended up there. Ideally, sure, but like, you know, with such tiny models, stuff like this is bound to happen. I feel like a huge part of like getting good at mini painting, and maybe I'm like off base with this assumption of mine, but I feel like, you know, it's a huge part of like getting good isn't just learning how to not make mistakes, but also learning how to like correct them, how to like bounce back from them when you make them, because they are gonna come. Just wondering, how often do I paint? So I was kind of explaining at the top of the stream, you know, that that nowadays I only paint like once a week now. Now since I only like paint on stream now, but like I want to get back into my old flow where I was basically kind of painting like almost every weekday night I could. Maybe not so much on weekends, because I would like, you know, go out with like my girlfriend or like with friends on the weekends or stuff, or just like kind of just chill. But like, you know, when I first started painting, and this is probably due to like the lack of overall skill that I had, I would like bang out a box of models like this one in like a week, maybe like a week and a half, because I'd be painting like at least like 3 or 4 times a week. Nowadays it's just once a week, but I was saying at the top of stream that what I might do with this particular batch of models, just to sort of get us like to a closer place of like finishing these. I want to like do some offline work on these models from now on, between this stream and the next stream. That way we can like get to some of the more like exciting looking like detail and highlighting work, and then ultimately just get like, you know, closer to being done with these gals. So that's how often I paint. How often do you paint, Nikki, out of curiosity? And also, Ultralord, if you're still there, how often do you paint, man? I forget how, you told me one time, but I forgot. Would be curious to know. Seven days a week, 3 weeks out of the month. Interesting. Interesting. So like you go like, you go kind of go like hard in the paint, and then like you just take a sort of like a week off. And then the month I get burnt out, which is where I am now. I see. Dang, that's intense, especially with like the level, like your level of painting. Like, wow, that's dedication though. I respect that. I also respect the fact too that you know like when exactly like it's time for you to like take like your break too. I like just knowing like how to integrate that into like your sort of workflow. Like I respect that. I respect the absolute crap out of that. That's something that I feel like is very beneficial to like know about yourself, you know? Also, speaking of your work, Nikki, feel free if you would like to drop your Instagram if you want people to go take a look at your work. Y'all, Nikki's work, it's fire. Not gonna lie, some heat. I absolutely love it. Definitely worth going to take a look at if you have a spare moment or two. For sure, for sure. Yeah, I start to fade away from my desk, then when I want to get back into it, I'll catch myself looking at my models when I'm playing games. Word. That's kind of like the same way it works with like playing like an instrument. Like I play guitar too, and you know, the thing that motivates me to practice is I see my guitar sitting in the corner of the room, say for example, and I'm like, shoot, I should practice, and I end up picking it up, and even if it's just for like 5 minutes out of the day, you know, still practice, you know. Nowadays, though, because of like my living situation with like my space and stuff, I have to like keep my by the way, there's Nikki's at, y'all, ghostcat_studio art. Definitely go check that out if you have some time. Nikki's work is utterly fantastic. But yeah, I was saying that like with a guitar, like nowadays I keep like I have to keep my guitar sort of like stashed away to save space, and like because I do that, I've noticed that I've practiced a lot less than I used to. A lot less than I used to. So there is that to consider as well. So yeah, no, or not. What I mean to say? I meant to say like I totally get how like, you know, seeing your models inspires you to like get to work. Honestly, that looks pretty good already. This one's not gonna need as much blending. Let's see here. Almost used the wrong pool of paint again. Oopsie daisy. At this point, kind of any other mistakes that we see, we will have plenty of time to go back and fix those once we get to the relevant steps of the painting process. Yeah. I am resolved to go see the new John Wick movie this weekend. It's been a really long time since I last went to the movies by myself, so I'm pretty excited for that. I used to work at a movie theater, and you know, especially because like I would get like free movie tickets while I was working there. I would go like see a couple movies here and there like by myself sometimes. But that was a long time ago. That was almost a year ago since I was working there. So it's been a minute, but yeah, excited to see the new John Wick. I've heard good things about it. I love me a good action flick. Love me some Keanu Reeves. And yeah, very excited to see the next chapter. Where's my water bottle? Okay, there we go. Need to take another hydration break. God, I love water so much. It's so good. It's so good, guys. It's so good. Good for you, too. Hydration can. Thank you. Learned it from the best. And by learned it from the best, I mean all the times that you were like, you should hydrate. Please hydrate. Oh god, please hydrate. And that's on growth. That's on character development. I think after I finally get my sisters up to like 2,000 points, I think it'll be time to enter my first like big boy tournament. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes me to get up to that 2,000 point mark. This is just the first step in that, of course. I don't know if I told y'all, but the other day, like a few weeks ago, I finally won my very first ever game of Warhammer. The record now finally of like a 15-1 after 16 games of Warhammer 40k. Finally won my first game. It was a 1,500 point game against Imperial Guard. Not the same Imperial Guard army I think I told you all about that I was going to be facing like a few streams ago, but a different one. It was lit. I won like I think my final score was like 72 and his was like 49, 52, something like that. I mainly won off of my secondaries, especially like the sister secondary objectives, because those are still really good despite having been nerfed recently in the most recent chapter approved release, the most recent like, you know, mission pack release. But yeah, I was proud of myself because, like, you know, I'm the reason why I'm so proud of my win is because it like came from like having learned from so many losses. I am someone who historically, like, when I suck at something, that can be like very demoralizing for me. Especially as someone who's kind of like a brainiac in school, like I tended to like excel like at a lot. And I'm just proud of myself for having like stuck through it. And like, you know, really took the time to like learn my stuff. And not like let it get like too tilted, because like at the end of the day also too what helps is that Warhammer is just really fun. It's really fun no matter if you win or lose, especially like, you know, if you're playing with a good opponent, you know what I'm saying, like a person who's just like fun to play against and who's a good sport, you know, which my opponent very much was that. Definitely look forward to playing him again in the future at some point. We played at my at the Warhammer store here in the city, just because there was a free table and we were both there one day, you know, chatting with the manager there, Scott, about all the like new releases coming up and stuff. I was picking something up that I had ordered. I forget which one it was specifically. Ah, yes, wait, I do remember what it was, but I can't tell y'all about that quite yet because that's future content coming down the pipeline. So be on the lookout for that. Spoiler alerts, it does have to do with what will end up being my new army. I think my new like big army project, but you know, we got miles to go before we land on that bit. But yeah. Proud of myself for securing my first dub finally. Was very, very, very happy about all that. Okay. In all honesty, I think we are ready to move on to our white. So again, I'm not going to stress myself too much over trying to get like the layers like finely tuned here, like finely blended together and whatnot. Have like a nice like gradual gradient or whatever. Thanks, Erica. Let's go. So honestly, let's just kind of move on to the next step here. Well, hold on. I forgot I have not glazed this one yet. Hold on. Stand by. So we worked on Jan last time, and I forgot we have not glazed. I did not glaze these layers right here for her. I'm just gonna do that real quick. I might need to remix some of the ivory into this. Let me do this real quick. Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna take some of that ivory that we were using last time. There we go. Just gonna use a little bit of it, don't need much. Use like 2 drops of glaze medium, so do like a 2-to-1 mix. Alright, let's see how this goes. Alrighty, take the very thin color that is ivory, and then we're gonna just thin it down even further into a glaze consistency for our purposes here. You can see it like if you look like right here where my brush is. Yeah, it's already that's pretty thin. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I have not heard this song from the playlist yet. Yeah. Okay, okay. Alright. Coming back over here now, we're gonna block out just the plain old regular white now on other parts of the model. Starting with our sister superior here. Does the is camera looking all right to y'all, out of curiosity? Just want to make sure. I know it's not the absolute best it could be, and I apologize for that. Yeah, y'all let me know how that is though. If you have any issues with seeing anything. Cool. Thanks for the thumbs up, Isabel. I'm getting to the part now where it's going to be a little trickier getting into some of these nooks and crannies. Also, because this is a white we're working with, we're definitely going to need to put a couple layers of this down to get it to look nice and consistent. Because white paint is like that. It just be like that sometimes. So like, I know like we want this to kind of just be like on the very tippy top. Kind of like this. And just as we're blocking it out. Let me get this fold a little bit more dimension. Which I don't know if that's what we're actually doing, quite frankly. I could be doing this all sorts of wrong right now. And in fact, I probably am. But you know what? That's okay. Because these still look better than my previous models. And progress is progress. We will adjust as necessary going forward. But right now I'm feeling pretty alright about these. Progress slays. Heard that. Yeah, that's how you can tell you're kind of in that sort of middle phase of painting. When you got that vibe like, oh geez, I don't know how this is going to turn out at all. Like it's kind of like you're kind of wading through the darkness a little bit. Kind of running through the dark tunnel, so to speak, waiting to pop out on the other side. That's what this phase of painting feels like, the sort of like preliminary slash in-between steps. The earlier phases of painting tend to feel like that. Whew, it is so gosh darn hot in this room. Whew. Ooh, haven't heard this track yet either. Kind of reminds me of Daft Punk a little bit. Which, speaking of Daft Punk, actually, I just remembered that I read literally last night that apparently Daft Punk are going to be releasing 35 minutes of unreleased music that would have been on Random Access Memories, because Random Access Memories, the album, is turning 10 years old this year. Its 10th anniversary is actually coming up very soon. And for those of you who don't know, Random Access Memories is like one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. So I'm very much excited about that. Very excited to see what Messieurs Daft and Punk have in store for us when that drops. I forget when exactly it's supposed to drop. I can look it up in a little bit. But yeah, got that to look forward to too. I'm gonna adjust my microphone here. Hmm. Yeah, see, that's one of the things I don't like about using white paint very often is, or like other colors like yellow too, is that when you paint with them, they often like will show your brush strokes. Just because like the way the pigment in like white and yellow paints tends to be like very chalky, generally speaking. And as a result, the what you get is this sort of like trail where you can clearly see like where your brush goes. I mean, in general, you can get that with any paint if your paint's not thin enough. The trick with white paint is that it's very tricky to thin, because if you like do it too much, it just becomes so thin to the point where it's like unworkable faster than like other colors tend to. It degrades faster than other colors tend to, I guess you can say. Put it simply. When thinned. Yellow always sucks. Lots of thin layers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Nikki. Gosh, I remember when I was painting... What was I painting? When was the last time I, like, earnestly tried to use, like, yellow paint? Oh, so I own a few Adeptus Custodes models that I painted, like, ages ago in order to use with Kill Team. Which is, like, another sort of offshoot game of Warhammer 40k, for those of you who don't know. Where instead of, like, having, like, a whole army, you just have, like, a single squad of models. And I wanted to make their guardian spears, the tips of them, yellow, and that was my first lesson in pain. I'm not gonna lie, that was a very painful experience. I'm like, oh my god, can't these just please be yellow already? And that's how I learned about like how difficult it can be to paint with the color yellow, and just kind of like about how like pigments and stuff work in general. That was my lesson in that. Although I hear that there's supposedly a contrast paint out now. I forget which one it is. It's either like Imperial Fist or Bad Moon Yellow. I know those are 2 colors in the contrast range, but like one of those I hear is like very good for painting yellow, especially like on top of like a white base coat. I forget which one it is off the top of my head though. But since I don't play anything like Imperial Fist or like that one particular sub-faction of orcs, I don't really like worry myself too much about trying to paint yellow. Yeah, it's Imperial Fist. I think you're right too, Nikki. Yeah, I think that is correct. Yeah, I hear that's a very good contrast paint. I often see it sold out in the store whenever I go to pick up more paint. Or like the last few times I've been to pick up more paint is what I mean to say, really. Haven't had to restock on paint in a minute, which is nice. Ink seems to be a good way to go too, I hear, if you're airbrushing. Interesting, okay. That is a good thing to keep in mind for the future. Yeah, there's an art supply store near me that sells a couple different brands of acrylic inks. I picked up like a black and a brown one a while back because I wanted to experiment with making my own washes using Midwinter Mini's recipe for making your own washes, your own shade paint basically, for those of you who are less familiar with the terminology. And yeah, I'm still waiting on doing that. I still gotta find the time to mess around with that. But yeah, I got some black and some brown so I can make my own version of like Nuln Oil or Agrax Earthshade. Especially just to have for like large like batch like shading too. Okay. I saw that a while ago, never tried it. Oh shoot. Is it the FW inks? Yes, it is the FW inks actually. Yeah, they also have Liquitex brand inks too. Sorry, give me 1 second real quick while I set my lamp back up. This this holder, the clamp for my lamp, has been getting like a lot more bent out of shape recently. I might have to do something about that in the near future because like it would never like even move so much as move whenever I touched it like before, like in the past, but nowadays I've noticed that like it's been more susceptible to falling lately than I'd like it to be, so I'm gonna do something about that in the future. But yeah, FW brand inks, I think those are the same ones he uses in the tutorial video if I remember correctly. So I was like glad to find like the brand in my local art supply store, not even hobby store, just like a regular art supply store. Let's see. In fact, actually, I have one of them right here. Yeah, here we go. Here's my black acrylic ink. Gonna use this to make some homemade Nuln Oil in the future. Looking forward to that experiment. Red ink, white ink, and a black primer can do 90% of red armor if that's what you're doing. That's how I did my Angron and Berserker. Ooh, that's cool. Red ink, white ink, and a black primer. So by same goes for yellow, but I haven't done it myself. Interesting. So wait, do you mean like so like you just put it like right on top of like a black prime and it just like it just goes? That's so cool. Unless I'm misinterpreting what you're saying, Nikki. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see. White ink over the black, and then you color ink. Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Makes sense. Interesting. I might have to try that with the future project that I have in mind. Because it's going to involve some slightly bulkier, you know, like models and stuff. So I feel like that'd be like a great way to like bang out like a whole bunch of like base coating and stuff. Oh, just got knocked all sorts of different directions after I knocked my light over. Works amazing for plasma glow too, or any object source lighting anyway. Ooh, okay. Object source lighting is something that I've been wanting to try on my models for a while. In fact, I have a spare Canoness model that I've yet to build and paint, and I was gonna arm her with a plasma gun. I might try to do a little bit of object source lighting with her, or if not, then maybe I'll try a different model with like a plasma weapon. Or I might try a little bit of OSL, because I was gonna actually equip her with a brazier of holy, or a brazier of holy fire, the giant like torch that she can use to like spit flames at like enemies and stuff. Might try to do like a cool torchlight effect using some OSL with that too. Figured it'd be a good project to try and learn some OSL on. Let's see here. Whew. Oh yeah, man, white ink and a color ink is all you need. Bet. White ink and a color ink. Duly noted. Duly noted. It's all just airbrush control, but it doesn't take a lot of patience. That is good to know. The can I ask like what size of airbrush needle? Which airbrush do you use when working with that with that technique, Nikki? Also, I must say I love conversations like these where I get to learn how like other people paint and like borrow a technique or two from them. It's one of the reasons why I love the hobby so much. I love like interacting with people and the community so much. It's because I learn so much from people. Big time. Awada Eclipse, which I forget the needle size. Oh, I have the Awada Eclipse too. So yeah, it's like a 0.4, I want to say, something like that. Yeah, maybe it's a 0.5. It's like a 0.5 or 0.4, one of the two. But yeah, okay, cool. So we use the same airbrush. I love my Awada Eclipse. That thing is so it's a workhorse. It's beautiful. I love it. That is one fine machine of an airbrush right there. Reminds me, I should definitely at some point inspect my airbrush again. Maybe do a full deep clean on it. It's been a while since its last like deep clean. I know you're not supposed to like really deep clean them too often because you don't want to start like, you know, accidentally like, you know, treating the parts too harshly or like treating them too much and like causing them to wear down and stuff. But I have not done too many deep cleans on my airbrush so far. So that is definitely something that'll be on my hobby to-do list here in the near future. Perfect. All right. Where did I... Oh, there you are. Okay. I was like, where did my brush go? It's a workhorse for sure. I'm upgrading though, but it'll be around for base coats and priming. Oh, nice. What are you upgrading to? Oh, Harder Steinbeck. No, oh, the Harder Steinbeck Infinity. Yeah, I've heard about that brush. Yeah, I've heard a lot. I know a couple people who are like in my Discord group that I am in that have said that they're upgrading to that brush, to the Infinity. Yeah. Nice. Do you know when you're gonna get it yet? Hopefully next week. Nice. Very nice. It's ordered, just waiting. Very nice. Oh, I didn't mean to paint on top of that. Oh well. It has happened. Amy, roll on. But the Eclipse is a great one. I did so much great work with it. Still stick with it. Stick with it. You can do a lot. But that is good to hear. I haven't had my airbrush for very long. Only about like a few months really. So still like honing my, I guess, airbrushing technique. But I love using this thing. I love using it for like zenithal primes and for base coating. Just makes everything, it just makes my life so much easier. Makes life so much easier. It's like before my airbrush, it would take me like what, 2, maybe 3 hours to prime and then base coat, maybe like 4 hours if we're talking the base coat, to do like a whole squad of like 10 Battle Sisters. And now that time's like, you know, like 2 hours between like priming, zenithaling, and then base coating. Ah, nice. I'm glad you love the playlist, Erica. If you want to check it out later, I can send it to you. Be so down, bet. I will send it to you later then, don't let me forget. And now we're on to second layer of white. Just to reinforce the first layers that we've put down. Might require 3. We shall see. I'll also start doing the shoulder details and the knee detail too, since those also have to be in white. And also this sister's hair, the sister superior's hair. Layers. Thank you for the layers in the chat. Oh shoot, I'm getting all sorts of paint all over my fingers. Let me come back on screen here. Sorry about that, y'all. Might give those decals a bit of a non-oil treatment here. Coming up in a little bit once we finish doing all the base coating all the decals, and then also doing the whatchamacallit. I forget, I lost my train of thought. Got a layer Jan here too. Oh shoot. Made a little bit of an oopsie right there. Let's see. Also, I just realized I forgot to update y'all on this too. I did have to take down the subscriber tracker meter at the top. That's usually at the top of the screen. I took it down because I realized YouTube does something very funky with like when it talks to stream elements. So basically on YouTube, like I don't get any sort of alerts or anything like that about subscribers, new subscribers or anything, if the person who subscribed has their subscribers, they're like subscribed to list privated. So even though like we have 39 subscribers, which by the way, thank you so much everyone for subscribing and sharing about my page here. I really appreciate that. 39 subscribers, that's more than we started off with, and I'm so freaking happy about that. Even though we have 39 subscribers now, the meter still was stuck at 7 because only about 7 of, and I can see it like when I go into like my YouTube dashboard too, only about 7 of the people who are subscribed to me have their subscribed to list public, and so they're counted by the meter. And so I've decided to do away with the meter because I'm like, well, it is technically filling up, but it's just not showing that, and there's nothing I can do to change that other than coordinate a grassroots effort to get those people to publicize their list, which I am just of course not going to do. So yeah. But nevertheless, we are still aiming for that goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So don't forget, y'all, if you like what you see here, please forget to like, subscribe, please, and turn on the notification bell. That way you know exactly when I go live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. now Eastern Daylight Time, because we are in Daylight Savings Time mode now. And don't forget to share this page with your friends too, and I'd greatly appreciate that, y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah, and that's so weird that YouTube. Yeah, YouTube needs to fix a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy live streaming on YouTube, but like, they definitely got some work to do in the features department. They're trying to make their platform too like universal. I think like they want everything to work with like everything else. You know what I'm saying? For everything to be sort of like fully integrated with each other. I think they're gonna have to, like, going forward, provide some concessions on that front. Because I do think going forward, like, I do want YouTube to be like the main platform that I stream on, right? I mean, it is the main platform that I stream on. I don't stream anywhere else, but you get what I'm saying. But like, I trust that those features will eventually come. Especially because YouTube itself is so ubiquitous. Like, I think they know that they can't get away with this forever. I think they're gonna update the features. Because if there's one thing that YouTube loves to do, it's add a ton of features to everything, some of which we didn't necessarily ask for. I'm sorry, Daddy YouTube, please love me. Please bless me, almighty algorithm. Okay. Let's see. I've been rewatching a bunch of my old favorite abridged series, like abridged anime series on YouTube, because I just like had one of them pop up in my recommendeds the other day, and I just realized, like, oh my god, it's been like 4 years since I last watched like an abridged anything. I should click on this, and I fell back down the abridged series rabbit hole, and boy oh boy has it been fun. Been watching like the abridged version of the anime Free from like 2014, Sword Art Online abridged, of course the OGs, Dragon Ball Z abridged, and Yu-Gi-Oh abridged too. Gosh, I miss Team 4-Star. So yeah, I've been enjoying that a lot lately too. This has been a really big time for me for like just reconnecting with like the things that I love most, you know, in terms of like fandom and whatnot. I don't think there's ever like a point in time where I like really lost my connection with it, but you know, just like investing more time in it, you know, while I'm out here trying to be like trying to be a working adult, you know, trying to make a living. TM. Oh, that dried concerningly quickly. Just gonna go ahead and wear back on top of that then, I guess. Ugh. Honestly, I'm happy with the pace we're moving at right now at this layering. I just noticed that it's 8:45, and we might finish all the white layers tonight, which is exciting. So, I don't know. The other thing too is that like I don't want to bore y'all to death with like all this like all the more monotonous parts of the painting. Plus, I know we've been working on like the same models for like 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks now. I gotta look back and see how many of these I've done at this point. I mean, it's not a lot, I know, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's why I want to make sure we're always moving at like a good clip too. Had to bring that one little detail a little bit closer to the face so I could try to get that fleur-de-lis looking sharp. Those fleur-de-lis, they are the trickiest parts of the details on these sisters power armors for me. I like this song. Hey, how's it going? Display. Welcome in. I believe you are a brand new friend of ours. Welcome in, welcome in. Glad to see you. We are just sitting here painting some Adepta Sororitas, some Battle Sisters from Warhammer 40,000 right now. How are you? How's your day been? Good, I trust. Pretty good, but a bit of a longer day, to be honest. Word. Well, hey, at least the day is done now. We can all chill out. Hopefully, you know, take a rest a little bit. And be proud of ourselves for getting through yet another day. Display, are you into Warhammer 40,000 too, or are you just tuning in to see what's up? Or any sort of miniature game or miniature painting in general? Bit of painting. I attempt to do custom custom Hot Wheels. That's sick. I didn't even know there was a way you could like customize those. Is it kind of like, do you like how do I describe it, I guess? Do you strip the original paint off the models, or do you like make it do you like build off of like the original paint schemes of the cars, out of curiosity? Not into 40K, but it intrigues me. Cool beans. Well, appreciate you stopping by all the same. Well, when it comes to 40K, I gotta say, you are looking at it. You know, of course, it's a tabletop war game, but you know, at the end of the day, you spend like most of your time, you know, painting up your miniatures anyway, right? So, in essence, this is 40K in a nutshell. When all is said and done. Sometimes I strip off, but mostly I just add on to the base paint, mostly drill out the OG wheels and swap them out. Dang. Got ourselves a veritable mechanic over here. Nice. Nice. I used to be really into Hot Wheels as a kid. I would always like when I went over to my friend's house when I was younger, I'd always ask if we could play with his Hot Wheels, because I didn't really have like a lot of my own. What were my big obsession as a kid? Well, I was a big Power Rangers kid. That was what I was. I was a really big Power Rangers kid. But I was always intrigued by the Hot Wheels world. Dang, that's some serious stuff though. That's really cool how you like do custom paint jobs for the cars. How'd you learn how to do that? Just like YouTube online? Did someone teach you how to do that? Or you just kind of figure out how to do it on your own? Are you self-taught? I zoomed out. No, I'm zoomed out. Originally I just used a Sharpie as a kid. Nice. And I saw another friend doing minis and applied those principles. Nice, nice. I love that. I love when like different different artistic disciplines have like those intersections where you can like borrow skills from one and use them in another. That's sick. And in fact, that's kind of like how I've been like starting to learn how to like improve like my base decorations from watching like those YouTube videos where people build like little terrariums for like their pet lizards or bugs or whatever, trying to make them look as natural as possible. So like that's an example of how like I've like kind of done this sort of same thing where I like take something from something else and take like a lesson from something else and apply it in a different setting. You know, how long have you been I guess you've been customizing Hot Wheels cars for a long time then, if you've been like doing it ever since you were a kid. Let's see. Yep, 16 years now. Wow, nice. I used those tutorials to build dioramas. I'd send pics, but you can't do that on YouTube. True, true. Nice. I love how you build dioramas for your cars too. Also, 16 years. Big ups to you. That's a long time to be to stick with anything, really. That's sick. I've only been painting miniatures like these for a little over, and I just popped this one off the base. Okay, that's a super glue job in a little bit. I'm just gonna set her to the side right here. That's fine. We will get back to that in a little bit. But I've only been painting miniatures for, let's see, it's March now, so it's been 1.25 years. It has been 1.25 years ever since I first started painting miniatures. Well, on and off. Fair. Still cool though. 16 years, even if it's on and off. You know, I feel like this might just be me blowing like smoke, but like. Hold on. Isabel says, I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm going to take some ibuprofen and go to bed. Okay, I hope you feel better soon. Hope you rest well, though. Thank you so much, Isabel, for coming in. Really appreciate you as always. And yeah, of course, happy to provide a great stream. Get well soon. Talk to you later. Display says, well, all is the same. But oh yeah, I feel like with any hobby, like, yeah, there are like times when like you have to take a break, sure. But I feel like there's no such thing as ever being like off until like you fully decide to give up on it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like taking breaks, giving yourself like a rest period is just a natural part of like doing any hobby, really. In fact, another viewer here in the chat, another one of our friends here, Nikki, was just telling me about how when they paint miniatures, you know, it's like does it for like 3 weeks at a time out of the month, and then we'll take the last week of the month to like rest. I'm like, dang, I respect that workflow. That's dedication right there. Whew. Yeah, just like I respect your dedication to like your hobby for like 16 years, even if it's on and off, you know? That's sick. Respect the crap out of that. Okay, so we just need to reinforce this layer, and then we need... Burnout is Burnout truly is the ultimate enemy. Ultralord, I agree. I agree. I remember I was feeling like really burnt out after completing my my Leagues of Votann army launch box, because those Harnkin pioneers, the bike units, let me tell you something, those were really tough to paint for me. Those were some of like the trickiest minis I have ever painted, and they took forever, honestly. And by the time they were like the last thing in the box that I finished, and by the time I did, I was like, okay, break time. Oh yeah, no, you definitely don't get burnt out as a kid that easy. Yeah, that is very true. That is so true. It's kind of like how like when I was a kid and like just getting into video games, I used to play like a lot of RPGs when I was younger, which is I find that somewhat ironic, because you would think that because RPGs, especially like JRPGs, tend to be so complicated and have so many mechanics to them, you know, you would think like they're kind of like a turnoff for younger kids because of how complex they are. But in reality, you know, kids have so much more like time and energy to really like sit down and learn that stuff. So really, it's like, for me, I'm finding now that like as an adult, it's now where JRPGs are kind of like, you know, harder for me to sort of like sit down and play, especially like when I leave one alone for like 3 months after playing it a little bit. I'm like, wait, how do these mechanics work? What's the story right now? Where am I going? How do you play this game? I think every video game should have a last time on such and such game feature where it'll like tell you like, hey, here's where you were. This is what's going on in the story, and in case you forgot the controls, here they are. Well, you can always look up the controls like in your game settings nowadays, but you get my point though. Just something to help the player out, you know what I mean? Help the player out a little bit. I'm gonna pour more paint real quick. Young kids love challenges, just like me and Senior Shadows. Oh, and Sekiro. Oh yeah, Sekiro was a great game. I'm a big From Software fanboy. And I loved Sekiro. Sekiro was a great game. I remember getting to like the oh god, I forget what the area is called, but like where the giant snake is, and you have to like play that like sort of like hide and seek with it. Freaking loved that part of the game. I was like, dang, this is a game right here. Even as someone who's terrified of snakes, I'm like, dang, I love this part. This is so cool. So cinematic. Yeah, big From Software fan right here. And in fact, now that I have better hardware to play games on, I've been meaning to finally get Elden Ring. I still haven't gotten Elden Ring yet. Is my first FromSoft. Nice. My first From Software game was Dark Souls 3. I got it like a couple months after that game launched. Frickin' loved it. And somehow, of the 3 Dark Souls games, it's still the only one that I've beaten. I still have not beaten Dark Souls 1 and 2. I know some people say that Dark Souls 3 is somewhat easier than its older 2 siblings, but I don't fully agree with that. I think in some ways it is, because the combat's a lot more modern in those games, in Dark Souls 3 than it is in those other 2 games. But it's still a pretty challenging game. A racing game, Fiend. Nice. What's your favorite racing game? I'm like terrible at all racing games except for like Mario Kart and like kart racing games of that nature. I couldn't play anything like Forza or like Gran Turismo or anything like that. Those types of racing games I am trash at. Not really racing games, but a sim. Oh, I see. Ultra Lord, hush your mouth right now. Stop that. Leave me alone, alright? Yes, I've seen me do GTA races too, alright? Honestly though, I never played enough GTA races. Has super realistic crash physics. That's interesting. I've never heard of this particular sim before. Is it like supercars, or can you kind of just like throw any car in there and drive it? Annie, mostly sick. Alright, cool. Nice. Let's see. I'm trying to think. The last sort of like has a huge modding community and devs are the best. Oh, that's great. I love it when games have like a very healthy modding community. I'm a firm believer that modding communities are what keep games alive ultimately in the long term. And like, you know, the sign of like a great developer is those who like try to foster a very healthy modding community. Especially like back when I was like in my peak Skyrim and Oblivion era. I loved playing around with mods for those games. We'll never forget the first time I booted up the My Little Pony Dragons mod for Skyrim and thought to myself like, oh my god, this is what is possible with modern technology. Science has not gone too far. In fact, maybe it hasn't gone far enough. I miss Skyrim. I should replay that game too. Oh man, too many games. Too many games. Too little time. Yeah, the game has been in beta pre-release for almost 13 years now. Interesting. Well, it's nice that it's great that the devs have like continued to stick with it after all this time. Ugh. Always find it a real shame when like a great game with like some real promise like gets abandoned by its developers even after a long cycle, you know. With regular updates, that's good too. It's good that the updates are regular and consistent. Like, I'll never forget, there's this sort of like MMORPG style game called Cube World. Like 10 years ago, was supposed to like come out like, you know, in 2014, maybe 2015, something like that. And that game looked like it was gonna be like, freaking amazing. It was like all voxel based, so you know, it was like, and yeah, it makes sense that this was like 2013, 2014, so it was like at the height of like the voxel based game popularity that, you know, Minecraft induced in the gaming scene. And Cube World was going to be just like a open world adventure RPG that like you and 4 friends, so maybe not like necessarily MMO, like kind of MMO style in terms of like the way combat and like the quest structure and everything in that game worked. But like, yeah, ultimately those like you could like play with like up to 4 friends in a party and like go on quests together, and like everything was like procedurally generated, etc., etc. I think the website for that game is down. I don't think you can find like any sort of digital record of it really anymore. When that game got abandoned by its developers, I was crushed. I was like, dang, that is unfortunate. Well, I wasn't quite as like, you know, mature about it. I was very upset. I was mad. I was like, no, because I wanted to get into the closed beta for that game so bad. I don't think that game ever really made it out of alpha. I think the game died in alpha, really. Didn't even really make it to beta. Or maybe it did. I don't quite remember. I'd have to go back and look. There's probably a YouTube video about it out there somewhere. It was that game, and then there was also Reign of Kings back in the day too, which was this game where like you're plopped onto this like server, this open world server. It was like a survival based game. Except in the middle of the map there was a castle, and inside of the castle was like a throne room, and whoever sat on the throne got to be like the king of the server. And like whoever like made it to the throne and sat on it even after like the person who first claimed it would like then retake the throne from that person. So like you'd have like people, especially like role players, you know, on that server kind of like, you know, forming their sides, forming their factions, you know, deciding who they wanted their king to be, and then, like you'd have like the wars breaking out and stuff. It's very, you had like the high drama. Some of the storylines from playing that game were like so, they were so dramatic, but it was so good. Yeah, so sad. Yeah, for real. That game had a lot of promise for sure, but that game was very poorly mismanaged by its developers though. So like, you know, it makes sense that it died. It's still all the same. It's still sad that it did ultimately, but who knows? Maybe it'll come back one day. Maybe not. Quite honestly though, if it never does, that's fine, because at the end of the day, my backlog is too big. It is way too big. I really need to get to slaying the backlog. You want to talk about a pile of shame, right? Miniature painters always talk about their pile of shame. I'm like, well, I don't really have that really with like my miniatures, but like with video games, oh boy, do I have a pile of shame when it comes to video games. Ooh, lots of incomplete games there on that front for sure. But we're slowly chipping away at that. I was explaining to chat earlier that I'm currently about to beat one of my favorite puzzle games that I've been like stuck on like forever, called The Witness. Started playing that game like years ago, and only just now getting around to like finally actually getting close to beating it. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah. Just bought God of War 2018 to play over spring break. Nice. God of War 2018. Now, I have not played God of War 2018 myself either, but I definitely want to, because I want to play Ragnarok at some point too, because I heard that was like a really great game too. I remember playing like one of the older God of War games years ago at like my cousin's house. I think it was like God of War Ascension or God of War 3, maybe one of those two. And I remember thinking it was pretty cool, pretty neat. You make sure to 90 to 100% most games. Dang, whew. That is awesome. That is awesome, my guy. Kudos to you. Kudos to you for sure. I think the only 2 video games I ever 100%ed were Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4. I had a really big phase with the Saints Row franchise, what can I say? Those were some of my favorite games for a while. I love story games with lots of fighting. Nice. You ever play Devil May Cry? Or like Bayonetta or like Nier Automata? Anything by Platinum Games, out of curiosity? Played Devil May Cry 2 back in the day, Nick. Ah, nice, Nikki. Nice. I've played Devil May Cry 3, and I've played the DMC. Yeah, I played that reboot too. I was just about to say, yeah, the DMC reboot from like the early 2010s. I played that one too. And I own Devil May Cry 5, but that's one of those games that's stuck in my backlog, which we are going to get to eventually. When does eventually mean? I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to figure out. We're gonna figure that out. Not yet. I've done the new Tomb Raiders 100%, all Forza Horizons, Minecraft, Watch Dogs 1 and 2, Battleship on 360. Ah, BioShock. BioShock. I love BioShock. BioShock Infinite. Loved that game so much. I beat it I played that game so much. I beat it in like 3 days. I loved that game. So I loved that game that much. I beat it in 3 days straight, which is like the fastest I think I've ever beaten a video game to this day. Not entirely sure. But it was a pretty fast completion time. So I was just like in the zone with that game. My god, the new Tomb Raiders. I've always wanted to check those out. I never played. Oh no, I played the first new Tomb Raider games, but I never played Rise and Shadow. Right, that's what the other two ones are called too, right? Cyberpunk and Metro. Ooh, nice. I never did get around to playing Cyberpunk 2077. I never got it. An old roommate of mine had it, and we'd like sit down and play it together. Like I'd watch him play it. That's about the extent of my experience with Cyberpunk 2077. And then as for Metro, I played and beat Metro Exodus a while back, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed Metro Exodus. And Metro Last Light, like even like longer ago than that too. I really liked both of those. I think the Metro series is great. My sis got a new and I built her PC for it. Nice. Very nice. That's very nice of you that you built your sister a PC. That's rad. I'm sure she was very grateful to have your assistance on that front. Because PC building, as simple as it is still not for the faint of heart. I fell in love with the Tomb Raider games. That's sick. Ah, I love that. I love when people can say that they fell in love with the game. That's what it's all about right there, you know? It's finding that, like, when you find that relationship with the game, it's just, there's nothing like it. I love it. Love to see it. Okay, real quick, before we forget, I'm gonna super glue that. Ooh, we're gonna super glue that one model that fell apart back together with its base real quick. Need to take a quick hydration break yet again. Got about 45 minutes or so left in the stream, so gave my old GPU an RX 59. Okay, nice. Not too shabby of a card at all. I'm guessing does your sister like play like a lot of, like, does your sister like play a lot of games? Like, is she like the type of person who like wouldn't need like something like super duper powerful for like the games that she likes to play? You know what I'm saying? Ooh. Oof. Never forget to stretch, my friends, especially when sitting at your desk chair for long stretches of time. Oh boy. All right. Got my super glue real quick. We're gonna fix this one model that fell apart earlier, and then we'll resume with the painting. Just want to make sure we get to this before we forget. All right. And then she's gonna have to go into the gotcha display. Gotcha. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, so I'm gonna put this back where we had it. I'm gonna have to just do a little bit of, yeah, okay, pretty straightforward. One dollop of super glue right here, and then another one right If she does, she hijacks my PC. Nice. What spec do you run on your machine? What are the specs of your machine, out of curiosity? I'm just gonna hold that in place while we let that glue. Alright, and now that should literally never fall apart again. Hopefully. Alright. We're gonna put her over in the infirmary, and by the infirmary I mean the empty spot on my shelf where I put... Ooh, excuse me, where I put, models which are under repair. So they have some space and... some space to dry out properly. Okay. i7 1200K, 2080F, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 3 terabytes SSD, 2 terabytes. Oh, wow. Very nice. Very nice indeed. I myself... Give me 1 second, hold on. Gotta dismiss this alert on my, Why are you doing this? Hello? Why are you doing this to me right now? Okay, we're good. Yeah, I was gonna say though, I got the same processor. I also have an i7 12700K. I got 16 gigs of RAM, and I have an RTX 3060 on board. Which I was very. Let me tell you something. That I was walking through my local Best Buy one day. And I was looking for, what was I looking for? I was literally just there to look for AA batteries, and I was you know, in the midst of building this machine, and I didn't expect, because, you know, the GPU shortage and everything going on and stuff, I was I did not expect to find anything of the sort that day, and then I just, you know, walked past the computer parts shop by sheer happenstance. I'm like, oh, hello. And it was on sale, too. And I was like, what? Why is this on and what? So of course I had to get it while I could. Otherwise, I would not be here streaming with you all. So I'm very glad and very grateful that I was able to do just that. Alright, I think we're on to the glazing step now of our white layers. Hopefully as we glaze, we'll also get a little bit of extra coverage too. We're gonna do, I think we're gonna do 4 drops of white paint, and we're gonna also do, I think, the equal amount of drops of glaze medium, because 1, 2, 3, 4. The Vallejo white tends to be very heavily pigmented, so I just want to make sure that this gets thinned down to the right consistency. There we go. I also want the transition to the white to be a bit more gradual, so we're going to make our paint a bit more thin than we have previously. Shoutouts to wet palettes for making my life a lot easier in that regard. There we go. Other than that, I got to then go to Micro Center. Oh, funny story. Oh, let me see. A funny story. I got my 2080 secondhand right when 30 series dropped, and people didn't know about the shortage. Ah, nice. Other than that, I go to Micro Center. Word. Micro Center. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever heard of that particular chain. I guess Micro Center is like a local chain to you or something like that. Yeah, 50 stores all over the place. Oh, okay, bet. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Yes, I am New York City based. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. And you know what? I think there is a micro, if I remember correctly, there is a micro center here, I think. I've never been to it, but I think I remember hearing about there being one somewhere here in the city. Yeah, I think they do too. So I definitely remember hearing about there being one. Oh, hold on. Got a little bit of a boo-boo there. Need to get some more water on that. There we go. Easy fix, nothing to worry about. I'm out in the suburbs of Chicago. I love how you put the suburbs of Chicago in quotation marks. Can definitely relate to that. As someone who's from the Northern Virginia area originally, I can relate to people being like, oh, like I'm from the DC suburbs, and they really mean Northern Virginia. They mean the other side of the Potomac River. Nikki says, hey, West Coast, Best Coast. All right. I hear you. I used to live in California when I was younger. My family and I, we lived in Monterey back when I was like a little kid, and they have one in the city in the bit west of the city. Ah, cool. So you have choices. If one's out of something, you can always just go to the other one. That's pretty cool. Naper Thrill. Naper Thrill. I love that. I know you mean Naperville instead of Naper Thrill. I love how you call it Naper Thrill though. That's grand. Oh boy. Okay. This is going still pretty smoothly. I'm gonna go ahead and start base coating the sister's hair now. All the sisters' hair color is white. They all have white hair. I think like lore-wise has something to do with like the fact that they train so hard that all their hair turns white. For like the intensity of the training and stuff. Cool bit lore-wise. Can be a bit of an inconvenience to paint sometimes. My sister went out there for college, and I think that's how I... yes. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I appreciate you giving the follow. Yeah, she was here earlier and mentioned that, like, that you were going to be watching, I think. Yeah, cool. Appreciate you stopping in, my guy. They train so hard, all their hair falls out. No, it doesn't fall out. It just turns white. Some of their hair falls out. Like I have one sister here who is in fact got where is she? Oh, she's the one who I just glued back together. Yeah, like she's completely bald. But yeah, all their hair either turns white or falls out, and then they get like sick tattoos, like Adepta Sororitas themed tattoos on their heads sometimes too. Cause hey, as long as it's for the Emperor, it's not heretical, so you know. Although as any Thousand Sons fan will tell you, what is considered in the interest of the Imperium You know, literally, oh my god, One Punch Man, hold on. That's actually such a great, like, fun idea for, like, a sisters army, like, as a theme. A One Punch Man themed army. The only obvious downside to that is you would then have to paint a bunch of models yellow. Or maybe you could do it the red and then like do yellow accents. But if you want it to be like, you know, mimic like Saitama's costume more closely, you would probably do like yellow as like the main color, which would then take about 1,000,001 years to complete. And by the time you do it, you might turn bald from the experience yourself, like our boy Saitama. One Punch Man Season 3 is supposed to be coming out soon, right? Like, am I tripping, or do I actually recall hearing about that somewhere in the nerdy news sphere recently? The Mixed Sisters. Oh my god, not the Mixed Sisters. This Holy Crusade is brought to you by McDonald's. Yeah, never find a different anime army. Yeah, never find it. Yeah, never mind a different anime. Yeah, fair. I did have one idea that I kind of was like mulling over in my head. I think like if I ever wanted to start like yeah, you know, Erica, I can't find season 2 either. I don't know where to watch One Punch Man season 2. I have no idea. I know I stopped watching mid season 2. I love season 1 is like some quality television for sure. I just realized I instantly switched to my size 1 brush without even realizing that I wasn't using my size 2. Either way, season 1 was peak for real. Yeah, I hope like season 3 is a bit of a return to form. Because season 2 was I also stopped watching mid-season. That's why I want to find it, because I remember like seeing it like on Netflix or something, but it's like I don't think it's there anymore. I wanted to go back and try to finish it just like get ready for season 3, but like can't find that anywhere. So there's that. What time is it? 9:30? Awesome. We are making excellent progress here. I think we're gonna be done with the whites here very, very soon. Actually looks pretty good. Yeah, I was a little concerned that the layers weren't going to look quite as good as I would hope they would, but actually they look not too shabby. Oh, wrong pool of paint yet again. Right now I'm trying to get a friend of mine to watch Evangelion. Oh, which reminds me, I gotta make sure I'm tracking when the fourth rebuild movie comes out, because I mean, shoot, we've been waiting for that movie for literally for years, and I'm very glad that 3.0 plus 1.0 is finally coming out. That's gonna be a really cool time to go to the movies for sure. But yeah, I've been trying to convince a friend of mine to watch Evangelion too. That way, they can finally understand all of my niche Evangelion memes. For those of you who do watch anime, I'm curious to know like what's the one anime that you show people when you want to get them into anime? Like, what do you use as the what do you use as the gateway drug? Out of curiosity, for me it's Full Metal Alchemist. I think Full Metal Alchemist is like one of the best like anime to start people out with. Oh yeah, Death Note's a great choice too. I agree, Display. I agree. Death Note for sure, yeah. It's like, oh I'll give me 1 second here, y'all. I gotta check something. But yeah, no, Death Note. I used to watch a lot when I was younger. I can't get into much anymore. One Punch was really the last thing I watched. Very fair, very fair. Got my dad into... Wow, I love how Death Note got your dad into it. Or how you got your dad into Death Note. Let's see. Also, My Hero Academia, because it has enough of the uncomfy tropes to get them... That's very true. That's very true. I think that's one of the hardest parts about getting people acclimated to anime is, like, the tropes. Especially some of the more, like, kind of tropes, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, I just gotta check something real quick. I just want to double check to make sure that the reason why it's so warm in my room right now is not because my computer is getting warm. It shouldn't. Believe me, I made extra special I made extra special I paid extra special attention to the cooling for my computer for sure. Okay, we're good. Core temperature stabilizing around 30°C. CPU socket around 36. That's good. I'll take that. Alright, so that's not... Oh, I guess, well, my radiator is technically, like, right here next to me in the room. I have one of those, like... Because my building's so old, I have, like, one of those floor-to-ceiling pipe radiators that heat each of the rooms in this place. They are not the best. They have 2 modes. Ice cold and, like, the depths of hell. And there is no in-between. There is simply no in-between. So there's that. Hey, I'll take this over, like, shivering, like, especially when it, like, hit, like, the... God, it was, like, what? 20... It was, like, 20 degrees here a couple of weeks ago, and now we're, like, in the 60s today, which is, like, you know... That's the East Coast for you. My Hero Academia, you know... And Erica, you're gonna slap me in the face for this, I'm sure. I have not seen My Hero Academia. Yeah. Speaking of anime, though, I'm very excited for Otakon 2023, which is an anime convention in Washington, D.C. Gonna be going with some friends of mine. It's gonna be my... Oh my god, I think it's gonna be... Hold on. I gotta check my count here in a little bit. I think it's like... Hold on. So I've been going like every year since I was 14 with the exception of like 2020 and 2021. So like what, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22. Okay, so it's only my 8th, it's my 8th Otakon. It's one of your, yeah, I know it's one of your faves and you're hella behind. Yeah, I feel like there's like a lot of it now out there. There's a lot of like episodes. I do want to watch it at some point though. I've always been kind of intrigued by it. So I definitely am going to check that out at some point for sure. That and I think one of these days I'm finally going to start One Piece. Pray for me, y'all. I know I got a marathon ahead of me. Initial D is an okay starter. Oh, yeah, Initial D is a cool starter, too. I agree. But I was saying before, yeah, I'm excited for Otakon 2023. It's going to be my 8th year going. Always a great time to go with friends. Gonna catch some fun panels. We're planning on doing a group cosplay as the main cast of the Boondocks, so I'm looking forward to that. I have been assigned to Tom, and my girlfriend's gonna be Sarah. And then like Gray, who y'all know is one of my mods here if you've been here before. Also the person who did all my channel art that you see, like all my cards and stuff. I gotta go, but I had fun. I'll be back one of these days. Alright, Display, well thank you so much for stopping by, man. Take care and have a good night, alright? But yeah, like Gray's gonna be like, it's gonna be Huey, Janine, my friend Janine's gonna be Riley. It's gonna be great. Got the whole thing planned out. Just gotta assemble the costume though. Thinking of doing like Tom's pajamas, like pajama look. That way I can like wear something a bit more comfortable and also like not have to like, you know, buy or try to otherwise mimic an expensive suit. And also so I can recreate the episode where he sings Let It Burn by Usher. Just for the meme of it. Love me some Boondocks for sure. Speaking, I love the Boondocks, even though I can't quote it at all. I love that, man. I love that. Yeah, man. The Boondocks is great. Currently in the middle of a rewatch of that show now on HBO Max. Speaking of HBO Max, I gotta make sure Succession Season 4 hasn't already been released. Love the movie, though I can't quote it at all. Read. Let's see. I do not know what you mean by read, but reading is, of course, very good. I don't know. Oh, wait. No, I know what you're talking... Wait, hold on. No, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, sorry. That took me a minute. Oh, my God. Any whoosies. Okay. Yeah, I can, yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes now that I think about it from the Boondocks, where he's like, performing the exorcism on Tom, like in the, oh yeah, job application scene with Tom in the bed, yeah, yep, I remember that one, that's from, that's a season 2, that's one of my favorite episodes of the show, that's a season 2 episode, Stinkmeaner Strikes Back, that episode is so lit. Oh my god. And Uncle Ruckus is doing like the exorcism on him to try and get Stinkmeaner out of Tom's body because he like came back from hell and possessed him. Freaking priceless, man. I was so sad when the Boondocks reboot got canned. I was really looking forward to that being, or not reboot. Oh, I guess it was a reboot. It was a brand new season, but it was a reboot all the same. I was really looking forward to the continuation, but also I'm grateful that we at least have like the original seasons to enjoy. But yeah. Whew. But yeah, take care, man. Have a good one. Thanks again for stopping by. I hope to see you around again soon. Display. All right. We are actually making very excellent progress on this particular phase of the painting process. I think this is going to definitely be done by the end of our time here. It would do so well with like South Park. So yeah, exactly, right? Because like the two shows are kind of contemporaries of each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it would do. It would have done great, especially with South Park alongside South Park's resurgence. Yep, I fully agree with you on that point right there. All right, man. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take care. Have a good one. All right, I want to try and get in here because I can see it, but like we'll see if we can get like this sort of in between part right here. And if we don't fully, that is okay. We will figure it out. Like we always do. Doobie doobie doo wah doobie doobie doo wah Perry. We'll cycle back to that one. Oh, should touch up the decals too. What time is it? 9:41. Perfect. We got like 20 minutes. All right. Perfect. All right. Ooh. Alrighty. Let's see, going back to like first animes and stuff, my very first anime ever was this one called School Rumble from 2005. It's this kind of rom-com anime, kind of like takes a lot of the tropes like the classic like high school romance sort of anime and like flips them on their head. It's just like super comedic, super funny. I think I watched that in like the original English dub. Yeah, I originally watched that in the English dub, which is how I discovered a lot of my favorite voice actors to this day, especially my boy J. Michael Tatum, who is my favorite voice actor, period. He is the voice of the main character Okabe from Steins Gate, which is my favorite anime of all time. And School Rumble being a Funimation show, it's like, I'm out, man. Good luck with the models. Catch you next week. All right, Nikki, thanks for coming in, man. Take care. Have a good night. Appreciate your support, dog. And yeah, I'll see you next week. But yeah, love me some School Rumble. Love me some good old Funimation shows. Glad they're all now on ye old Crunchyroll for everyone's enjoyment. Well, because Funimation got absorbed by Crunchyroll, so that worked out pretty well for all of us, I guess, in a way. Yeah, if you've never seen Steins Gate and you're into anime, even remotely, highly, highly, highly recommend. It's one of those that's like based on a visual novel, so like the 2 seasons of the show that are out right now, both are like, are each like one of the different branching paths from the visual novel, kind of like the Fate series, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like Fate Stay Night and like Fate Zero and what's the last Fate anime? Heaven's Feel. Kind of like that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Made by a different guy though. Yeah, I love me some Steins Gate though. That anime will always have a near and dear place in my heart. Love me some anime. I have to cover that up later, I think. Perhaps. Okay. Alright. That's kind of... Oh, nope, hold on. Missed a spot. I was gonna say that's kind of all there is to all that. But no, we got one more kind of nook here. I'm gonna get this part right here too, since that's kind of visible. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. No, there's a guy in my gaming group too who does like he runs like painting courses. Been looking to sign up for one of his painting classes one of these weekends and go and learn a thing or two from him. He's a nice guy. His name's Martin. Great painter. Definitely is someone I look forward to learning something from. Okay. I'm gonna clean up this line right here too a little bit because I don't like the way that looks. Okay. Cool. All right. Neato burrito. All right, I am honestly pretty satisfied with where these are at in terms of the whites, in terms of the white parts of the model. Might be a couple things here and there I need to quickly like touch and retouch. I need to get these knee decals real quick. It's gonna irk me if I don't. And it's like barely It's not very well molded on these knees, so I'm just gonna go for it. Not worry about making it too neat, because the decal itself is already not that neat. Alright. So there's that, and then that one can't really be seen. That one I covered, that one I covered, this one I did not cover. Okay, that's fine. Just as long as it's like enough to indicate that it's there, really. That's all I kind of care about. Because at the end of the day, as much as I want to make these look good, I also want to just get these on the table and painted. Or get these on the table painted. And yeah, that's like my top priority. So that just means I'm not going to make give myself too much of a headache over this stuff, you know. Because then if it's not fun, because then that means it's not being fun. And if it's not fun, then why do it? So then at the end of the day, this is of course all about having some good old classic fun. Since I spotted that too, let me go ahead and cover up this little ding right here. Alright. And you know what? I think that is an excellent place to stop for the night. So we're gonna say brushes down now. Whew. Good stuff, y'all. So we got some pretty decent work in tonight. I'd say that like the slower parts, I'd say like the slower parts of this whole painting process, at least for these sisters, is now more or less I want to say it's more or less done. I think now we're moving into like the faster parts of this whole process, where we're going to be like painting like the accessories, excuse me, the accessories and the weapons, and then pretty soon here we'll be moving on to like final highlights, painting the bases, and then we're done. And we can probably get those first two of those 3 steps knocked out on stream next week. And then maybe even the painting of the bases too, or I can just always do that offline. I don't know, kind of go with the flow and see how that works. And then I'm gonna make sure like the sister that's currently in the model infirmary gets the touch-ups that we just did on the white parts of the models over here too, just because she's over here drying off with her super glue and stuff. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream tonight yet again. Thank y'all so much for coming by. I really appreciate y'all's support. If you haven't already, don't forget, of course, to please leave a like on the stream, as that will greatly help out my channel. Of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already too, and don't forget to smash that notification bell. That way you know exactly when I go live. Once again, every weekday night on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, unless otherwise stated on social media. If you don't follow me on social media already, you can check me out at c_is_for_creation on Instagram, and you can also check me out on Twitter as well at Chimera is Social. Erica, Ultralord, appreciate that, y'all. I'm glad y'all had a good time. I'm glad it was a vibe. Thank y'all so much for your continued support of this channel, and I hope to catch y'all for the next stream. Take care, everybody. See ya.